Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the propagation characteristics of electromagnetic waves in free space. We know that light is an electromagnetic wave. Now, let's see how Maxwell arrived at this conclusion that light is an electromagnetic wave. So, let's first write the Maxwell equations. So, there are four Maxwell equations. One is Gauss law, and this can also be called as second one is divergence of V is equal to 0. You can call it Gauss law for magnetic field, and you can call it the Gauss law for electric field. And other one is curl of E is equal to minus del B by del T. So that is changing magnetic field produces the electric field. So this is your Faraday law. So this is your first, this is second, and this is third equation. The fourth Maxwell equation is, so curl of B is equal to mu J. So this is your Ampere's law, but when Maxwell modified this Ampere's law, it becomes mu epsilon del E by del T. So these four equations are known as Maxwell equations. Okay. So first one is the Gauss law, second one is the Gauss law for magnetic one, third one is Faraday law, and fourth one is the uh, uh, Ampere's law with Maxwell's modifications. Since we are talking for vacuum, so in vacuum you know that we can assume that there is no charge. Okay, so here the rho is of two types. One is bound charge and other is free charge. So rho b plus rho f is constitute the total charge density. So in vacuum, since there is no medium, so rho b is also 0 and rho f is also 0. There is no free charge there, so you can assume that rho is equal to 0. Similarly, J, that is J bound plus J free, in vacuum it will also be 0, because vacuum is a place where there is no medium, and so there is no medium to polarize, hence or there is no medium to magnetize, hence you can say there is neither the bound current neither the free current. So in this, if you substitute this, now one more thing, so in vacuum your mu, that is the is given by mu is equal to mu naught 1 plus chi m. So here mu naught is the permeability of free space and chi m is the magnetic susceptibility. So in vacuum, since there is no medium, so chi m value will be is equal to 0. So in vacuum you can write mu is equal to mu 0, because in vacuum there is no medium to magnetize, so the magnetic susceptibility will be equal to 0. Similarly, epsilon is equal to epsilon naught 1 plus chi. Here chi is electric susceptibility, and epsilon naught is uh, permittivity of free space. And epsilon is the permittivity of the medium under consideration. So since we are talking about the vacuum, so chi e, since there is no material to polarize, hence chi will be equal to 0, and you can write epsilon is equal to epsilon naught. Okay, So now substitute these epsilon naught and value of j, that is 0, rho is equal to 0, in these set of Maxwell equations will finally get. So first equation now in vacuum can be written as, the first Maxwell equation in vacuum can be written, since rho is 0, this is your first Maxwell equation. Now the second can be it can be written as divergence of zero. Now the third one is minus del v by del t, and the fourth equation is your curl of v is equal to mu is 0, mu is equal to mu naught, and j is here 0, so you, and mu is equal to mu naught, and epsilon is equal to epsilon naught, so you can write mu 0, sorry, sometime you can say is mu 0 epsilon 0. Okay, so mu 0 epsilon 0 del E by del T. So these are the Maxwell equations written for vacuum in a medium where there is no charge and no current. So let's call it equation number 1 again, equation number 2, equation number 3, equation number 4. So in these equations you see that divergence of E is equal to 0, divergence of V is equal to 0, and magnetic field change, curl of E is equal to minus del V by del T, that is changing magnetic field produces the electric field. And again from equation number 4 you can see that changing electric field may produce magnetic field. So somehow these equations are coupled equations, but we can write them only in terms of electric field or magnetic field. So now let's take the, in order to do this I will take the curl of equation number 3. So taking curl of, I am doing some mathematics here, so taking curl of equation number 3rd. Okay, and when you take the curl of equation number 3rd you will get like this, curl of V is equal to minus curl of del V by del T. Okay, and here if you see this side, means the left hand side, so you know that from the product rules of second derivatives, you know that curl of any function a can be written as del dot a, okay, minus del square a. So this is the vector identities for curl of any curl. Okay, so you know this, and since you know this we can put this side as, you can write left hand side as del dot e minus del square e. Okay, is equal to, now since this is derivative with respect to v and this is with respect to some special points x, y, z, or any whatever the coordinates we are considering, so it can also be written as del by del t is equal to curl of v, as they as they both are variables are independent. So now from first equation, okay, from equation number first we can know, we know that divergence of E is equal to 0. Okay, so divergence, substituting divergence of E is equal to 0 from equation number 1. Okay, so when you do this you will find that your expressions, this equation can be written as del square E del by del T curl of B. Okay. Now curl from equation number 4, from equation number 4, from equation number 4, you know that curl of B is equal to mu naught epsilon naught del E by del T. Okay. Now substitute this curl of B in this equation, so you will get del square E is equal to mu naught epsilon naught del square E by del T का square. Okay. So now I will number this equation. Let's call it equation number 5. Okay. Similarly, you may take the curl of equation number 4. So if you take the curl of equation number 4, you can write it curl of B. I am taking the curl of equation number 4. So you will get, first I have done for curl of equation number 3. Now I am taking the curl of equation number 4. So you can write mu naught epsilon naught del by del T curl of E. Okay. So here again use the vector identity, and you can write it del vector del dot B vector minus del square B vector. Okay. So what I have done here, I have taken the equation number 4, and I have taken the curl of equation number 4. So when you take the curl of equation number 4, you will get this expression. So this left hand side can be written as, using the vector identity, this as del dot B minus del square B is equal to mu naught epsilon naught, and curl of E is from equation number 3. You know that curl of E is equal to minus del B by del T. So you can write it here del B by del T. So your equation will be del square B by del T ka square with negative sign. Okay. So once again, here the first term on left hand side is del dot B is equal to 0. Okay, because divergence of E is always 0, so this term is 0. So you can write it let me remove it. Okay, so you can write it here del square B is equal to mu naught epsilon naught del square B by del T ka square. This is your equation number 6. Now equation 5 and 6 are very analogous to the three-dimensional scalar wave equation. If you remember, you know that scalar wave equation in one dimension can be written as d2f by dx2 is equal to 1 upon v square and del square f by del t ka square. Okay, so this is del. So let me correct it. Del square f by del x ka square is equal to 1 upon v square is equal to del square f by del t square. This is the one dimensional wave equation where v is the velocity of the wave equation of the wave. But in three dimension, this can be written as del square f is equal to 1 upon v square is equal to del square f by del t ka square. So this is your equation number 7. So if you compare V and Vi, okay, V and Vi with equation number 7, that is 3D scalar wave equation, three-dimensional scalar wave equation. And comparing equation number 5 and equation number 6 with the three-dimensional scalar wave equation, you will get, so this is the wave equation for electric field, this is the wave equation for magnetic field. So electric field and magnetic field propagate in the medium as a wave. So, and if you can compare with the standard wave equations, three-dimensional scalar wave equation, you get that V is equal to, if you compare, then V will be equal to 1 upon mu naught epsilon naught. So since here V is the velocity of the waves, similarly the velocity of electric field and electric wave and magnetic wave is equal to V is equal to 1 upon mu naught epsilon, or you can say that the velocity of the electromagnetic wave is equal to 1 upon square root of mu naught epsilon naught. And you know that mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to power minus 7 n s square c square, okay. And epsilon naught in SI unit is equal to 8.85 into 10 to power minus 12 coulomb square into Newton meter square divided by, okay. So this is the value of mu naught and epsilon naught in SI units. We will substitute this in this expression. You will get the velocity V is equal to 2.99 into 10 to power 8 meter per second, and this is exactly the same as velocity of light. So from here one can conclude that electromagnetic wave in vacuum propagate with velocity of light. So one can infer that light may be an electromagnetic wave. So this is how the Maxwell arrived at the conclusion that light is an electromagnetic wave. Since we are discussing with the propagation characteristics of electromagnetic wave, so one characteristics that I have called it A is that electromagnetic wave moves with a velocity of light, okay. So you can conclude that uh, light is an electromagnetic wave, okay. Now second, now if you see that wave equation, the wave equation for electric field, that is electromagnetic wave, is mu naught epsilon naught del square E by del T square, okay, and del square B is equal to mu naught epsilon naught del square E by sorry, this is B by del T square. So this is a wave equation for electromagnetic wave, and this is in analogous to the 3D scalar wave equation, that is del square f is equal to 1 upon V square del square f is divided by del T square, okay. So these equations are analogous to the three-dimensional scalar wave equation, and hence the solution of these equations can be written as E vector is equal to E0 e to power I k dot r minus omega t, okay, and B. So if you solve these differential equations, we will get the solution like this: B is equal to B0 e to power I k dot r minus omega t, where V is 1 upon mu naught epsilon naught. and v is equal to this, and it is also can be written as v is equal to omega by k, uh, and k is also can be written as 2 pi by lambda. So k is here the wave propagation vector. So k is a wave propagation vector. It tells you the direction in which wave is propagating. So now let's discuss another property. So from third equation, from first equation, you can write divergence of E is equal to 0, and you know that del is equivalent to I k. Okay, so you can write here I k vector dot E vector is equal to 0. So from here you can say that dot product of k vector dot E vector is equal to 0. So it implies that k and E are perpendicular to each other. So k vector is perpendicular to electric field vector. Okay, where k is what? K is wave propagation vector. K is a wave propagation vector. So from here you can say, from equation number first, you can conclude that k is, that is wave propagation vector, is perpendicular to the direction of electric field. Similarly, you can, from equation number 2, you can write divergence of v is equal to 0, and you can also write I k vector dot v vector is equal to 0. So you will get k vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay, so from here, from this discussion, you find that k is perpendicular to electric field and k is also perpendicular to magnetic field. Therefore we can conclude that electric field and magnetic field oscillations are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Okay, if k is in this direction, that a wave is propagating in this direction, okay, so electric field will be in this direction, and if k is propagating in this direction, then magnetic field is also perpendicular to, so direction of E will be in this direction. Sorry, this is B, this is E. So from here you can conclude that E and B oscillations are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Okay, why? Because k dot E is equal to 0, means uh, the angle between k and E must be, k vector and E vector must be 90 degree. So k is perpendicular to E. Similarly, you can say that angle between k and B is 90 degree. So k is perpendicular to B also. So you can say that E, as since we are considering it, we are saying it electromagnetic wave. Since we can say that in electromagnetic wave, electric field and magnetic field oscillations are perpendicular to the direction of propagation in case of vacuum. So here you can say finally that electromagnetic wave is transverse wave. This is the definition of electromagnetic transverse wave, na? For which the oscillations of electric field and magnetic field should be perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So this is electromagnetic wave or transverse wave. So this is our conclusion, that electromagnetic waves are transverse waves, or you can equally say that light is a transverse wave. So now let's discuss another characteristics, the fourth point. So from second relation or no, from third relation we can write. So we have used from this relation that electric field is a electromagnetic wave is a transverse wave. Using these relations first and second, we have concluded so far that electromagnetic waves are transverse waves, or we can say that light is a transverse wave. Now from relation number third, uh, curl of E is equal to minus del V by del T. Let's make some conclusion from this relation also. So you know that del can be approximated as Ik, okay, and del by del T as minus I omega, okay. Now let's substitute these in this equation. So you will get Ik cross E vector is equal to I omega B, okay. So from here you can write V, this is magnetic field, so I and I will cancel each other, so you can write here V vector is equal to K vector cross E vector divided by omega. If you assume that k cap is unit vector along the direction of k, so along the direction of wave propagation, k cap is the unit vector, then you can write uh, here b vector is equal to k cap, k mod of k vector by omega is equal to k cap cross E vector, or you can simply write this mod of k vector to show the magnitude. You can simply write k without any vector notation, so you can express it as k by omega is k cap cross E cap, okay. And you know that omega is equal to kV, okay. So you can write here k by omega as 1 upon V. So V vector is equal to 1 upon V is equal to k cap cross E cap, okay. And in case of in free space, you know, we have concluded that V is C, okay. So V can be exponential with the velocity of light. So here your V vector can be written as 1 upon C k cap cross E cap, E vector, okay. So this is your equation number uh, so this is your equation number 8. This is very important relation. So from this relation you conclude that B is perpendicular, since B is given by k cross E. So you can say that if it's the right hand rule, if you use the right hand rule k cross E, then B will be perpendicular to k and E. Therefore you can conclude that k uh, from here what we are concluding that B vector is perpendicular to k vector, okay, and E vector, okay. Similarly you can show that E vector is perpendicular to k vector and B vector, okay. So from here, and you already know that uh, k is perpendicular to B and k is also perpendicular to E. Okay, so from here we can conclude that vibrations of k, e and b are right angles to each other in free space. So what we can conclude, let me write, therefore we can conclude that vibrations of k vector, e vector and v vector are at right angles to each other. This is since we are discussing in free space. Okay, so therefore we can conclude that vibrations of k, e and b are at right angles to each other in free space. So the relation that we established is really very important, because if you know the electric field, you can calculate the magnetic field, corresponding magnetic field of electromagnetic wave. So you can see that k cross e, this is the relation in vacuum. So here you have concluded also that b is perpendicular to k and e, and from our previous that e is perpendicular to k and b is also perpendicular to k. So we can say that here that k, e and b are at right angles to each other in free space. Now if you let's see the wave equation, mu naught epsilon naught del square e by del t chi square. Okay, and now substitute again. If you differentiate e, okay, so we can do directly del by substituting del is equal to I k, and del by del t is equal to minus I omega. So you will get I square k square, okay, e is equal to mu naught epsilon naught minus I omega का whole square to e. If you'll do this, so I square will cancel each other, and you will get k square is equal to mu 0 epsilon 0 omega square, and mu 0 and epsilon 0, you know that v is equal to 1 upon mu naught epsilon 0. So you can write here k square is equal to omega square by, and this is also equal to c, so omega square by c square. So you see that your k mod of k is omega by c, and it is in free space. Okay, so wave propagation, magnitude of wave propagation vector in free space is given by omega by c in free space. And you also see this is a real quantity. This is a real quantity. Okay, so now let's look back the solutions of the electromagnetic wave. So we have already discussed that E is equal to E naught is e to power I k dot r minus omega t, k vector dot r vector minus omega t. This is your electric field vector. So if you know the electric field vector, you can write. So I want to tell you how can calculate V. If you know the electric field vector, where k is the wave propagation vector, so you can write B as k cap using this expression, k cap cross E vector by C. Okay, so here k cap will be same, and you have to substitute E. So E will be E0 vector e to power I k dot r minus omega t. So if you know the electric field vector, okay, then you can calculate corresponding magnetic field vector of electromagnetic wave. So since k is a real quantity, so here k dot r k is omega by c, and it is a real quantity, so you can say that E and B are in phase. Electric field and magnetic field are in phase. Okay, it will be more clear from one example. That suppose that your electromagnetic wave polarized in x direction. If it is polarized in x direction, means it oscillates along x direction. So E vector can be written as, now I am considering the case in which E is wave is polarized in x direction, means electric field vector is along x cap, and wave is propagating along z direction. So wave propagation vector is along z cap. Okay, so in this case electromagnetic wave can be the solution of this equation can be written as E0 I k dot r. So your k dot r will be equal to kz. Why kz? You know that r vector is x cap, y cap, and z cap. Okay, r vector is x cap, y cap, and z cap, and k vector is, your k vector is mod of k, and you can write it k is along z cap. So if you take the dot product k dot r, you will get k dot r is equal to kz. So you can write here it was I kz minus omega t, and since E is along, here I have not I have used a vector in this E0, but here this E0 is just magnitude and the writing direction other side. So x cap is the direction of electric field oscillation. So if you know that this is your electric field vector, and so this equation tells you that uh, k is the wave propagation vector, and since k dot r is equal to kz, so you can say that your wave is propagating in z direction. Okay, so your wave is propagating in z direction, and it is polarized in along x axis. Okay, its polarization is along x cap. So corresponding magnetic field can be written as, using this expression, k cap cross E vector by c. Okay, so here write it, k cap cross E is E0 e to power I kz minus omega t, and it is your x cap. S cap divided by C. Since k cap is along z cap, so you can write here z cap cross x cap divided by C is equal to E0. Okay, you can write k cap is along z cap, so you can write z cap cross x cap divided by C is equal to E0 e to power I kz minus omega t, and z cross x is equal to y cap. So your corresponding magnetic field vector will be equal to uh, E0 by C e to power I kz minus omega t y cap. So you see that K is along z direction, and if E is along x direction, then your B will be along y direction. So you see that B oscillates perpendicular to electric field vector, and it is also perpendicular to the direction of wave propagation. So it is also a transverse wave. So you can conclude here that electromagnetic waves are transverse waves. Now since there is no phase difference between these two, so you can say that the magnitude you can say that the magnitude of magnetic field vector is equal to E naught by C. Okay, so you can write it, E naught is equal to B naught C. So electric field magnitude of electric field vector is C times of magnetic field vector. Okay, the magnitude of electric field vector is C times of the magnitude of magnetic field vector. And you can also see that there is no phase difference between this electric field vector and magnetic field vector. So you can say that E and B are in same phase. Now let's see the pictorial representation of the wave that we are talking about. So your E vector is E0 e to power I kz minus omega t. Okay, it is polarized x cap, and your B vector is B naught e to power I kz in minus omega t, and it is along y cap, and wave is k vector is along k cap. Okay, so the pictorial is I am talking pictorial representation. So pictorial representation of this situation can be drawn like this. Suppose it is your z axis, zxy, so it is your x cap and it is your y cap. So the wave is propagating in this direction. Okay, and if you plot electric field, if you plot with respect to at some time, fixed time, and it will be like this. Okay, so this is the plot for electric field in which it is E is along this direction, along x cap. E is along x cap. So if you plot it, okay, so now see the magnetic field. So magnetic field is along y cap direction. So and since there is no phase difference, it means that when the amplitude of electric field will be maximum, amplitude of magnetic field will also be maximum. Okay, so you can plot like this. Okay, so this is your magnetic field direction, this is your magnetic field direction, this is your magnetic field direction, this is your magnetic field direction. So let me set it to make it more clear. Okay, so this represents your electric field oscillations, and this represents your magnetic field oscillation. When E is maximum, B is also maximum, and amplitude of E naught is equal to B naught C. This is the pictorial representation of this type of electromagnetic wave. So sometime in the exam it is asked that to show that in free space electric field, magnitude of electric field is equal to c times of the magnitude of magnetic field. So if you to prove this, what will you do? You will use the relation k cap cross E vector divided by c, and if you take the magnitude you will get v vector, okay, is equal to mod of k cap cross mod of e cap, and the angle between k and e is cos sine 90 degree, since k and e are perpendicular to each other. So you will get b is your b0 e to power I k dot r minus omega t, okay, and k cap is 1, and e is again e0 e to power I k dot r. Take the modulus of this, okay, divided by c. If you do this, will give the magnitude b naught, and this will give the magnitude e naught by c. So in this way you can say that, so that e naught is equal to cb e0 is equal to cv0, okay. So from here you can say that electric field is c times to the amplitude of magnetic fields in case of vacuum. In vacuum, when wave propagates in vacuum, so electric field is c times to the magnitude of magnetic field. So here not one is saying magnitude, call it amplitude, okay. So electric field amplitude of electric field oscillation is c times to the amplitude of magnetic field oscillations, okay. So E0 is c times B0. What is E0? E0 is the amplitude of electric field oscillations, and B0 is magnitude of magnetic field oscillations. So in this discussion we have pointed out that light is an electromagnetic wave, and light moves with the electromagnetic wave moves with the velocity of light in vacuum, and electric field, magnetic field, and wave propagation are perpendicular to each other, and we can also infer that light is a transverse wave, and this is all about the propagation characteristics of electromagnetic waves. So in the next class we will discuss the propagation characteristics of electromagnetic wave inside a dielectric medium.